Alright everyone, so for this video, I wanted to do a trade breakdown and explain my thought process nung pag-trade ko, nung IPO, nung ALLDY, and yung subsequent trade that I took after that one. Okay? The reason why I'm doing what is essentially 3 trades in one video was because the thought process that went in dun sa pag-trade ng IPO ay hindi ko napaliwanag dun sa unang video natin explaining kung how I subscribe to ALLDY via PSE Easy. So I wanted to take the time to explain paano ko plinano at in-execute yung ginawa ko for that particular IPO, even though, as I stated in that video, sa initial trade natin, meaning yung IPO trade, ay hindi naman kalakihan na nilagay ko. I just put enough to be able to make a video for all of you. Okay? Now, syempre, magpapakita muna tayo ng resibo. I know some people save this for the end, but I prefer showing it at the start kasi for me, this is the less or the least educational part of the video. Diba? I want to focus more do sa paano yung thought process and execution ng particular trade. And I wanted to get this over with para we can focus more on that. As you can see, yung unang dalawa is mga filled cells lang. That's for yung IPO. So I sold my initial position like I discussed dun sa PSE Easy na video at 90 cents. Then the next I sold at 1.06. I'll explain why in a bit. And then yung second trade natin, or rather third, kasi second trade technically speaking was yung pagbenta at 1.06, no? So the third trade was a scalp trade. And nakikita nyo dyan, the buy was at 75 cents and the sell was at 82. So ipapaliwanag ko rin kung paano ko in-execute yon. Okay? So that being said, let's move on to the chart. Alright, so dito ngayon tayo sa chart, no? Para mapaliwanag ko ng mabuti yung mga moves na ginawa ko at yung thought process ko based sa mga resibo na pinakita ko sa inyo. Okay? Yung unang-una, yung selling it at 90 cents, I already explained yung thought process for that do sa PSE Easy na video. Sa mga hindi po nakakaalam, gumawa po ako ng paano makapag-subscribe sa PSE Easy at nag-subscribe po ako doon using ALLDY. Admittedly, maliit lang yung halagang linagay ko kasi talagang hindi ako typically nag-trade ng IPOs. But if you want to know my trade process there and my thoughts, I posted a link to that video in the description box below. Okay, ang hindi ko napaliwanag is after that, ano nang nagawa ko. Okay, obviously, di ko maduktungan yung video, no? Now, nung una, as I said, binenta ko yung half ng position at 90 cents nung nag-ceiling. Okay, I want to expound on that a little bit because yung thought process ko doon, yun pa rin kasi yung thought process ko going into the second day. Okay? Now, the reason why I sold it at ceiling is because hanggat kaya sa mga ganitong sitwasyon, I want to reduce my risk in what I believe is a logical and reasonable manner. Okay? So, ang plano ko for ALLDY, and typically ito rin yung plano ko if and when I do subscribe to IPOs, but as I said, I do that very infrequently. But when I do, usually ang hinahanap ko is dapat on open, lalo na nung first day. Okay? Kailangan above 20%. If it's above 20% and it starts holding above that, then I try to go for the ceiling. Okay? Pag nag-ceiling, I will sell half nung hawak ko. In this specific instance, nag-ceiling agad. So, syempre, benta agad yung kalahati. As I said, ang maneuver na yon is to help reduce risk. Now, sa second day, yun pa rin ang hinahanap ko. Okay? It's kung mag-open siya above 20% and mag-hold above it, then I'll try to go for the ceiling again. However, paano kung hindi? Paano kung nung IPO day, 'di ba, nung listing date or nung second day, hindi siya nag-open ng above 20%? Paano kung nag-open siya ng 20% or below? Kung ganon, automatic entire position benta. Okay, again, that's just for me. That's my personal style. Kasi nga, I like to mitigate risk when I can. And if I'm trying to aim for something, lalo na yung ganito, na wala pa akong chart na masandalan, na wala akong technicals na masandalan. Diba? Na parang nag-iimbento lang ako ng TP. Then I try to be very conservative and I try to manage my risk as much as I can. So ano nangyari nung second day? Bakit ko siya binenta ng 1.06? Ang 90 cents, ang 20% up niya is 1.08. And we did open at 1.10. But as you can see, as soon as we open from 1.10, nag-drop tayo kaagad. So nung nagsimula na mag-drop, binenta ko na. Nung nakita ko nag-below 1.08, binenta ko na siya. And at that time, dahil medyo mabilis yung pangyayari, hindi ko siya nabenta at 1.07. I was able to sell it at 1.06. Okay, again, I don't try to BS you guys. Diba? I could have said na, hindi, binenta ko sakto 1.10. Diba? Para lang maganda pakinggan, para ang pogi natin. Pero, hindi. Nabenta ko talaga siya at 1.06. Then from there, as we can see, nag-collapse na yung price. Okay? So that's the first 2 trades that I took dito sa ALLDY. Now, the third trade was essentially a scalp trade. Bakit scalp trade? Okay? I'll explain when we get to the end of the trade process, the execution, no? Mas magiging clear kasi kapag ganun yung paggagawa ko. So, price came down, tapos nag-range tayo dito sa area na to for a little bit. Diba? Nung nag-range siya dito, I knew there was nothing to do. Okay? Ang ginawa ko lang at that time was linatag ko tong level na to at 83. Diba? Pwede ako maglagay na isa pa dito sa taas, 84. Parang area siya, 83 to 84. But for this video, I want to keep it simple. So, hindi ko na muna rinagyan. I also saw from here na nagkakaroon tayo ng parang minor resistance dito sa 80 cents. Hindi naagulat kasi psychological number siya. And I know a lot of people subscribe to the idea na psychological numbers tend to act as support and resistance levels. And then meron din tayong support here. Okay? Dito sa 75 cents. Again, psychological number. And when you look at it, kadalasan yung mga nag-overshoot sa kanya tend to go back above it. So, kunwari, dito may overshoot tayo. Here. Pero binalik din niya agad, di ba? Dito nag-hold, dito nag-hold, dito nag-hold, dito nag-hold, and so on. So, tinitingnan ko yung 75 cents. Added confluence when price came back, nag-act siya as resistance. So, I was watching that area, and then may support tayo dito. Bakit hindi dito? Kasi ito yung extreme low. Even if price broke beneath itong 69-70 cents na area, meron pa tayong support dito sa 68 eh. So I wasn't gonna say, especially sa 5-minute time frame na, kapag nabasag yung 70, uber na tayo na bearish dapat. At least not at this time. Okay? So what happened next? So, this area here started to form some type of rounded bottom, no? So, as we can see here, nag-hold yung 75, clear na clear. Okay, nag-hold yung 75 as resistance natin. Nag-form siya na parang rounded bottom. So at this time, I was already interested in looking for a potential scalp trade. Now, what happened next? Next, we broke out and then we retested yung 75 cents. So when we broke out, nung nakita ko nag-76, I placed a bid for 75. Okay, why did I place a bid for 75? Why didn't I buy it at 76? I wanted to minimize yung number one, yung where I enter to where I'd be wrong. Okay? In this instance, ang ginawa kong stop loss ko, okay, was 72 cents. Bakit 72 cents? Kasi in my mind, this has formed some type of bowl and yun nga, parang weird na inverted head and shoulders pattern. So I didn't want to see price trade below 72. Yes, I realize, so 73 to, no? So 1 cent down, 72. Kasi syempre 73, nandun pa lang tayo eh. Okay? I realized na I'd be stopping out into this area of consolidation here. I get it. But since, as I said, scalp lang siya, and dito, since scalp nga siya, I wanted to make sure na tight yung stop ko and I wanted to make sure na nare-reinforce ko yung essence ng trade idea, which is if price traded below the low of the right shoulder, I would be out. Okay? So kahit na nandito yung area of consolidation, since 5-minute time frame lang to, since scalp lang to, since yung idea was dapat from here we start pushing higher na, dapat may momentum na, I kept it tight. Okay? Now, as we can see, from here, price started to push higher. Okay, nag-hold tayo around 76 na area. Started to push higher. Tapos here, we push higher. Then, nagko-conso siya. Okay, nagko-conso. Naka-hold lang tayo at this time. Then, as we can see, unang level of resistance we found was at 80. At this point, pinapanood ko na yan. Iniisip ko na if talagang matigas tong area na to, nag-hold, I might need to get out early. Okay? Pero, na-break siya agad in the next two candles. In this candle here, okay? Nung nag-hit to ng 82 cents, okay? Dito sa area na to, sa dalawang to, nagbenta na ako at 82. Why did I sell at 82? Even though my target was clearly at 83. Kasi, this happened on a Friday. Okay? I didn't want to hold a scalp position over the weekend. Now, bakit siya scalp? Diba, kanina pa ako paulit-ulit. Diba, nauntal pa ako sa gitna kasi napaisip ako kung ipapaliwanag ko na ba bakit siya scalp sa gitna. Pero it didn't make sense. Kaya siya scalp kasi, number one, nag-trade tayo using such a low time frame. Meaning, I wasn't gonna lean on the 5-minute time frame for a swing trade up hanggang dito sa 1.10. Wala naman ako nakikita at that time sa daily. Partly because napaka-konti pa lang ng candles talaga sa daily chart. And number two, since ang laki na binaksak, kahit anong makita ko sa daily chart, sigurado, bearish yun. Okay? So dahil doon, I already knew that kung mag-trade man ako dito, sigurado, super short term. Diba? Dahil nga, ang linilinan natin na time frame, super baba. The next thing was, I also knew na yes, this was kung ano man inverted head and shoulders, could be a rounded bottom, but this entire thing here could also be constituted as a rounded bottom if you look at it from a slightly higher time frame. So I wasn't gonna push my luck. Okay, so I was only at best gonna target 83. And since again, it was a Friday, it was a scalp, I wasn't willing to hold it over the weekend na baka magkaroon pa ng weekend risk. Diba? Hindi ko na maalam eh. Baka biglang may balita na lumabas about ALLDY over the weekend. Tapos dahil doon, biglang mag-gap down sa Monday, mawala pa yung kinita natin. Diba? So, I got out at 82. But what happened? As you can see from here, diba, on that Friday, nag-hold tayo, but eventually, it dipped down a little bit. Tapos yun nga, it went to target at 83-84 na area, yung sinabi ko from the start, yun nandito. Went to target at 83-84. Then from there, medyo nauntog na tayo, diba? Medyo nag-consolidate konti, tapos bumaba na tayo. Tapos we are now where we are right now, which is, just let me zoom out, at 69 cents. Tama? No, sorry, 68 cents. Okay? So guys, I hope na may natutunan po kayo from this video. I tried to be very specific do sa thought process ko because I wanted to make sure na natuturo ko ng tama, no? Ayaw ko kasi nagtuturo pero bitin eh, yung parang may tinatago sa inyo, di ba? Yung magtuturo na, oh sige, ang galing ko, na-trade ko to hanggang dito, pero parang, ande, sige, basta ganito ginawa ko kasi ganyan, parang bitin. So I wanted to be very specific. I wanted to expound on the ideas as much as I could para maliwanag and pwede nyong maulit yung trade in your personal execution, no? Personal trades. If you look at it, SGP did something very similar sa ALLDY, albeit mas malayo yung inabot niya pataas. So if that's something that you want to know more of, I can discuss that also in a future video. And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!